Hi, welcome to What About Indie Games, the podcast where we talk lots about indie games. Welcome, Renee. How are you going today?
It'd be a lot better if hay fever would go away.
But
The windy
that's
weather means that. Sorry?
what about spring and autumn? They're like the best times of year to have hay fever.
I have hay fever all year round,
Hmm.
but it unfortunately it's like hay fever and sinus issues together. A tag teaming me. The
I,
jerks.
yeah, but that's where video games are good because then you can go play things inside and not get as much hay fever.
Yeah,
Little.
I can enjoy the outside by being inside.
Yeah,
That's what indie games are for,
yeah,
or
exactly.
video games in general.
So, no, you're right. Have you been playing any games this week? Where are we at with that stuff?
I've been playing Let's Revolution because that released on the Switch. It was a PC only game.
Yeah.
I was I finished I think Paper Trail last week or the week before. I've been playing Cozy Caravan, which is an early access indie game by Five Lives in Brisbane.
Oh,
So it's just the five people that are working on it. That's why it's called Five Lives, or at least that's how it started out.
no, fair enough.
But that one's been really. I'm making. I wrote a preview about it. I spoke about it on the Pixel Cast, which we recorded on Monday, and that was my topic, and I completely stuffed it up because I'm like, it's really hard for me to explain this without just rambling about it. So I had a bit of trouble with the preview. I wrote the intro for that preview so many times, and I was like, just trying. Like I was writing it and rewriting it and deleting it in my head and trying a different thing, and it just I managed to get it. Paul was quite pleased with it when he read it. So I'm like, and I was just like, that was the one I was expecting to be the pain in the ass. And he was like, you need to work a little bit on the paper trail review. And I'm just like, oh, come on.
So you're
The one that I
saying
wrote,
all your reviews this show are going to be perfect.
yeah, sure, definitely.
Okay, perfect. That sounds like we've got a pack show full of perfect game reviews. Yeah. Well, do you want to start with something, or do you want me to start with some games, or where do we want to go with this?
Hmm. Well, I am enjoying Cozy Caravan. That only just went into early access on the 16th of May.
Okay.
Um,
What's it about? Tell us where does it?
See, this is where it gets hard
Okay.
because essentially what you are is you are a person running a caravan, but not your holiday caravan. It's a shop caravan that you sell things out of.
Okay.
But you only have markets on the weekend. So it's very similar to Animal Crossing in the vibe and how it feels, and it's very much that cozy sort of game.
Hmm.
And because of that, it's kind of hard to quantify. Um,
Well, in a lot of
but
cozy games,
essentially,
people seem to like different aspects of them. Like they might just
yeah.
like going fishing all the time, or so I understand where you're
Mhm.
having that problem there.
Yeah, most people, when they asked on the, because I'm part of their Discord as well,
Hmm.
most people are like, oh, I really like the quests. And here I am with, like, I like the most boring thing, driving the caravan. Everyone else is just like, I like the things that progress. I'm like, I like just driving. It's fun. I like the giant bumblebee that pulls the caravan everywhere. I like to pat Rigby and watch him wiggle his tail. Um, and
That's
that's the
fair enough.
thing, because it's at the moment it is in very early access, so it's quite repetitive.
Okay.
A lot of people are like, that's their main issue with the game at the moment is that it is repetitive, and it's like, yes, but it's very early.
Mm.
Like the fact that the game's as well as it does is better than what you should be, like better than what you can expect. But essentially, so you run the caravan, weekends have markets, on the weekdays you do good deeds for the residents of the region because it's several towns and you travel between towns, and each town will have its own quests, its own mini games, its own produce, because you can get produce from each of the different areas.
Ah,
Each area has different produce. Yes. For example, the starting town has lettuce, tomato, and carrots. But if you go to the homestead, they have capsicum, onion, I think it's potato. But it's about traveling essentially. That's what
so
I reckon it's about. Because if you,
so then if you wanted to make burgers or something with that produce, you have to travel to all the towns to collect your produce, for example. Is that the kind of
yes,
loop in the
but I
game?
don't think they have burgers because my cow character would be very upset.
Okay.
Yeah, because because the characters are
Vegetarian
based on
burgers?
animals.
Vegetarian burgers?
I've seen carrot cake, apple cake, and salad, stew, but like vegetarian stew. I haven't seen any meat products, which I think is probably for the best, considering
How
the world.
adorable your cow is.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't normally pick a cow, but I looked at all the different animals. There was 16 animals to choose from, and each of them had 3 to 5 different colorings, and I just ended up with decision paralysis. I was like, I don't know which one I want to be. I actually had to stream my screen so that my friends could help me pick because I was like, I want to be a fox, I want to be a cat. I don't really like that cat color. Maybe I like this fox color more than that cat color, but also, the axolotl is really cute. And
Choices.
yeah, we ended up settling on the strawberry cow. So it's the cow that's pink.
Does it have like
Um,
strawberry shapes on the side that are slightly darker?
no, but it does have a little love heart under one of its eyes.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've missed an entirely important mechanic, which is the good deeds mechanic, I call it.
Oh,
It's not what they're calling it. Essentially, if you do good deeds for people in the form of quests and play the mini games with the children and stuff, you'll get hearts. And when your heart meter fills up, you get a token. And those tokens allow you to upgrade your caravan so you can then produce more stuff so you can then cook things. They're planning to add sewing and woodworking later from the looks of things, but they're not currently in this build.
so what are they calling that then?
I don't know. They didn't really. They just are like the guild rewards good deeds, or the guild rewards the good things you do for people.
I feel
I
like
separated them into quests, roving mini games, and farming. And the reason I did that was because the roving mini games could appear anywhere, sort of thing. So if it was in one town and you did it, so like for example, you play hopscotch with Rosie. If you play hopscotch with Rosie in Basselbrook, the next day she'd be in a different town or a different location,
right.
and you would still get the same amount of hearts. But it's something you could do every day, but it wouldn't happen in the exact same town that she'd already been in. And then the quests were obviously just your simple quests. Everyone knows what quests are. They
Yeah.
ask you to do something, you go do
Yeah.
it.
Are
And
they
then the farming
fun
ones,
quests? Are they fun quests? Or are they just that whole rubber banding, go and get this, bring it back here? Or they kind of got like some substance to the quest?
um, I think the bee one might be a good example. So at the beginning, I can't remember the beekeeper's name. He has lost his bees, and essentially you have to herd the bees back into the area. And then when you go there the next time, the bees are out again. And he says they keep breaking the gate. So you herd the bees back in, and then you have to go get Jill, who lives in a different town because she's the repair person
Yeah.
essentially. And she is like, "Oh, we've the gate." She was repairing the gate. She's like, is this applewood?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Yeah, bees love applewood. That's why they're destroying it. They're literally headbutting the gate because you've used a wood that the bees love." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know." And she's like, "We'll have to make a bee repellent to stop the bees from escaping." So it's like a three or four part quest.
But it's a little bit thought out, and there's a bit of fun to it. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, that at the moment the one that's driving everyone nuts is the stew quest because you need 3 ingredients, but you have to speak to the right people to find out what those ingredients are that are missing, and then
Uh,
you know you, Which, of course, the bugs are like, this is the best time to pop up and be a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Sometimes are they timed people too, so you can only find them through the day or through the night or something like that?
No, that is a good thing. There is
Oh,
time moves differently in Cozy Caravan. It's really an odd thing. So in the towns, time doesn't pass unless you do an activity.
oh,
So when you do one of the good deeds, then the time will pass a little bit. If you farm in, it'll pass a little bit. The only time actually moves is when you're traveling in the caravan. But the thing is that none of it is like specifically timed. In the stew quest, the minute you've spoken to the person that tells you about that ingredient,
mm-hmm.
that part of the quest will then become unlocked. So if you
Okay.
go to the right location, the thing that you should be looking for is there.
Oh, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah, or at least that's how it's designed to be. Obviously, very early access, lots of bugs still trying to get through them. I'm sure you understand.
Never.
Mm-mm.
Is it, so
You saying your game's perfect?
100%. You don't. Does anyone release a game that's not perfect? Like I think that's how all games should be released. Yeah.
Apparently, I'm a lot more tolerant of bugs than you are.
Oh, you'll find lots of bugs for me. I promise. The
I think I said when I was I think I said on the forums that I'd found more bugs than a resident in Animal Crossing.
what what well what bugs do you actually enjoy though? The thing with bugs is some bugs are really fun. Like sometimes you find a bug that
Oh
makes
yeah,
the character do something silly or something. Are they all annoying little bugs or just like
and oh no, unfortunately, at the moment, it seems to be stuff that it's not game breaking, but it's enough that it's like it. So, like I said, some people are having issues with the stew quest where they can't actually progress it. It's really frustrating. I was having issues where the sensitivity of my mouse was really low, and the which made crafting really hard for me.
mm,
Crafting, I couldn't get 3-star crafting, even though I thought I was doing the right thing. I've just managed to help them fix that bug because apparently it wasn't something that was happening to most people, but it was happening to me and I think one other person.
yeah.
And they adjusted it, and suddenly where people were like, "Oh, I don't have to move my mouse all the way across the screen. This is great."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, oh, okay, so this must have been a problem for everyone, and people were just putting up with it, sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe that's what people do. So cozy
I
caravan
think it's like it's designed like that.
eh, is it? So cozy caravan is much like Animal Crossing with something else. Stardew
Well, that's
Valley.
the thing. I was trying to think. Well, that's the thing. You don't actually grow vegetables, so
Mm,
there's no actual. You're not actually farming. You do favors for the farmers. So in the farming aspect, you'll pick crops, and then they'll give you some of the crops that you've
is it?
picked.
It's got a bit of a cozy coves kind of vibe. Have you played that one?
Yeah, yeah. In that you're doing stuff for people, except
Mm,
it's definitely on its own timeline. It doesn't have the uh 24-hour clock, the real time clock that Animal Crossing and Cozy Cove have.
yeah. Okay. So
So
maybe. But if I like those kind of
it's not like,
games, I should buy this game. Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, if you like that sort of game, you probably will enjoy this. And like I said, they're adding more content. They're going to be continue adding content. They're constantly fixing it at the moment. So it's I honestly I wish them all the best because I'd like it to come like become a thing because I mean, aside from Animal Crossing, I was like, I don't know what else I could really describe it as. And it's not like Animal and well, it's like Animal Crossing, it's also completely different to Animal Crossing. Like there is no loan. There is no currency aside from the token. So it's not like you're buying things, it's all kind of you do a favor for someone, they give you produce, you swap the produce for the hearts, and
So
then the hearts leads to the
bartering.
token. So yeah, it seems to be very prevalent on if you do kind things, it will reward you.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of what they were really focusing on, was that whole be kind,
That's
the
the
kindness
cozy
revolution.
vibe in a nutshell, really. If you've got that kind of,
Mm,
I feel like you've got to have a heart and soul in those wholesome, cozy games. They've got to, they've got to kind of make you want to be a good person. They're not the kind of game where you go around murdering people. I, don't- I
no.
haven't seen a cozy murder game yet, but I mean, there's Duck Detective or something like that that has got like they're doing a
That's a
mystery.
cozy murder mystery. That's a
Yeah,
little bit
there's
different.
not you're not doing the murdering. You're just fixing it all up once it's all done. It's
You're just finding out who did it
yeah, I
and then
guess
moving on your way.
yeah, yeah. You're helping the town in a moment of grief.
Yeah.
so, so yeah, no, that sounds really interesting. I'm kind of I think yeah, I might get a copy when it comes eventually to something. Who knows what it'll come? Is it only on Steam at the moment, or is it
It's only
Switch?
on Steam at the moment.
Yeah.
People have asked for consoles and they were like, we would like to, but it's very, we're still working on the game.
Mm.
Like it's essentially a way for them to fund the game while they're working on it by selling it in early access. I think it's only $30, so it's actually I believe it's I mean, like I said, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's worth the $30.
Well,
I think
30,
it's right in that sweet spot
that's
for
only like $20 US, so that's not too bad.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
Exactly. It's not an expensive game. They are aware that it needs a lot more content. But yeah, I've been enjoying it.
mm.
I need to go back to it at some point, but of course, I'm still trying to get everything else done and play all these other games. It's
Well, there's another
like
fest
trying to.
out for you.
Oh, don't remind me. I haven't even
So,
finished the farming video yet. That's actually what I was doing before we started doing this podcast. I was
mm,
working on the voiceovers for the farming videos.
yeah.
Oh.
No,
Not only
Steam's
that, there was an indie festival over in Japan that released 150 indie game, announced 150 indie games.
how are they even indie games? So do we have to go through and quantify each one to make sure they're actually indie games?
No, no, they are actually, a lot of them are actually indie games. So, for example, one of them was one that I was covering for the original Next Fest,
Yeah.
the very first one that didn't have a qualifier for what it what it needed to be, and that was a Mega Crafter, and that's also in early access. And that one was where there's a game that cannot be finished because the bugs in the game are turning into monsters, and you have to go into the game and fight the monsters in the game. So it's a
I
crafting
love that
survival
idea.
game
Oh, I love that.
with adventuring,
Mm.
but it also had Dark
What kind
Souls
of
style
graphics?
combat.
Oh, what kind of graphic?
3D,
But like a pixelated
cutesy
type.
3D stuff.
Oh, okay.
No, 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 no.
Oh, I was thinking of like,
It's also I also forgot the other part because it's in a computer game. You get a buddy, and it's called a Grammy as well, but the one that actually follows you around is like Buddy.
mhm.
And you can code, so you can set your buddies up so that they collect all the Grammys up, so they collect all the wood for you. Like you set up like a tree farm, you can set up like a forge and stuff, and you can make them program them to do all that stuff for you.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's object orientated programming, so it's a good way to introduce kids to that if they're interested.
yeah. They pick it up quick too, kids. So I think that's a good. But I love the idea of that fighting in an old Amiga. I assume it's like a rip off of the Amiga kind of computer by the name.
No, it's the Omega Crafter is based on the fact that you have to craft everything in the world,
Yeah,
sort of thing.
so there's no Amiga computers in there because I was thinking
No, no,
no. I was just
no,
thinking,
no. So
yeah,
it's like it's essentially it's. If I was going to compare it to something else, it'd be graphics are similar to Pokemon Go.
yeah.
That's probably the best way that I'd put it. The opponents are like trolls and they're 3D, and they'll have attack patterns, and you have to avoid those attacks and stuff. But you can I believe they're going to be in early access for a year,
Mm-hmm.
is what they were planning. And then they're hoping to go completely fully with it. So, yeah, well, that was one of the games. But yeah, a whole bunch of others were announced, and I have to take time to go through it and check them all out.
That's a yeah. Especially and that's a lot of games to come. Like I know Japan's like a mecca for like game development, and that's a lot of games to announce in one hit. Like who's actually watched all of that? Yeah.
Um, yeah, I there was one that wasn't so much that it was they were announcing it, but rather they were announcing that it was their 500,000. Oh, Bakura, that's right. I was playing that. I played that. That one's a really good one. I don't know if you've actually played that. That's a puzzle game. It's a two-person puzzle game.
No, I didn't.
Essentially, you play as two boys.
Are you sure that's not Brothers? Is that not the brother? Is that like in the Brothers series?
No, no,
No.
no. This is from Japan. It's
Okay.
not from the Brothers
Similar
series.
type of a
So
game?
no,
Okay.
this one's a interesting puzzle game. I'm gonna
Okay.
just
Sorry,
put on
sorry.
my yeah. Yep. What happens is that essentially you need two people to play.
Mm-hmm.
It is a two-player game. It is not a solo game. It is not a three-player game. It is two people. And what happens is that this way the world looks for one person looks completely different for another. So there'll be platforms for one person that don't exist for the other, and you have to work together to get you both through the levels.
Ah.
Yes, it's really interesting. So when
That
I was
sounds
playing it
like
with
a
my friend,
relationship breaker. That's the kind of game that like families will break up over because of that yelling abuse.
it's too wholesome for that. It's
Yeah,
too
okay.
wholesome for that. It's not designed to upset you. Like when I was playing it with my friend, I was like, "Oh, do you not see this thing that's next to the teddy bear?" I'm like, "What teddy bear?" He's like, "Do you not see the teddy bear?" I'm like, "What teddy bear? There's a robot there. Like, there's a robot here." And he's like, "Are we seeing different things?" And I'm like,
Ah.
"Yeah, you
So
have to use
the game
communication."
didn't even tell you that to start with?
No, no.
Ah.
We had to figure it out. It turned out that we were seeing the world differently. Our characters see it differently, and they have different obstacles that they need to get over. But the thing is, you won't be able to get over any of the obstacles without the other person, which means you need to work together, and communication is very important.
Oh.
It's not
Sounds
like Overcooked where you just start screaming at each other.
Oh well, it sounds a little bit like We Were Here, but We Were Here. You're in different rooms doing puzzles, but you've got different components in other rooms to help each other.
Yeah, yeah, I played We Were Here,
Yeah.
and my friend opened up the gate for me and told me to go, and I was just like, "No, I feel bad," and they're like, "No, no, go," and then they got left behind. I was like,
Great ending.
"Not happy, Jan."
So then you had to play through it again, so you could.
Also, spoilers.
That's. I like
It's been
those.
out for a while and it's free. Feel like everyone should have played it by now.
Operation Tango. Have you played that one?
No.
That one had similar things like that as well. But it was you were trying to rob rooms and two players, different things on each screen. It was like almost like the eyes and ears were in one thing, and they were solving the puzzles, and the other one was guiding you through how you were supposed to do the
Yeah.
puzzles.
Oh, it's just kind of weird because I'm like, with Bakura, you technically are existing in the same space. It's just that that space happens to be different for each person playing.
That's the interesting part about that game, because most
Yeah,
of the
I'm like,
time
how?
they're like they've just got different views, but they're the same space. But yeah, this is cool.
They're the same space. It's different for each person and what is perceived. So a friend, like at one point, I essentially just walked my character walked through the wall, and they were like, how did you do that?" And I was like, "How did I do what?" And he's like, "You just walked through a wall." And I'm like, "There's no wall there. What are you on
Oh,
about?"
whoa. So I didn't understand that you can actually see the other character on your screen.
You can see the other character, but what they see is completely different to what
Yeah.
you see. So what's on your screen, have something different on theirs, but they can't see your screen and you can't see theirs, but you can see your character. So you can see someone's character floating in midair and are
Oh,
like, how are they doing that? And, it
ah,
kind of, the whole discovering that was a very fun thing. I'm actually kind of glad I'm talking about this because I got the code for free and I never actually was able to do anything with on the PR side, like review it or anything because I didn't
yeah,
get to play it. Unfortunately, person I was playing with was always working when I was on, so we didn't get a chance to keep playing it. We only played it the once, but I would absolutely go back to it and I would suggest other people play it because it is such an interesting experience, especially when you get to that point where
what
you
was the
realize
name
that you
again? Just like name drop it again.
Bokura. So Bokura.
Okay,
So I think they either got it was either 500,000 downloads or 300,000 downloads.
good
But
amount.
yeah, it was they had a trailer to celebrate it. That was one of the things that was part of this indie festival in Japan. So I think it's completely online as well. So it's like an indie showcase for Japan that's completely online in Chinese, English, and Japanese, of course.
Yeah, no, that's wow. Yeah. Would you like to know about what? Well, I don't know if it's an indie game, but well, I think it's an indie game. It's got indie vibes, but it's got a publisher. But there was only a couple of people that made it, as far as I could do in my research that I played.
We'll just consider it an indie game, whether it is or not. I guess we can say.
Charts of Centaur. Have you heard of that game?
No, I haven't.
It's a puzzle game. Um, I would say it's kind of
I'm
got.
sensing a theme with this sort of
We
this
have got a
podcast
lot
this
of
week.
puzzles this week. Yeah. It's I've never played anything quite like it. So it's a puzzle game. It's kind of a top down kind. I was interested in it because I always like to play games that are similar to what I'm kind of constructing to get some
Oh yeah,
vibes and whatever. But this game had this
it's
really
always good to just get to look at the competition and go, maybe that's an idea I can steal
well.
or adjust.
I'm not stealing any of their ideas because it's just a different type of game, and it's a whole different idea. I've never played anything quite like it. So it's a game that I don't know if it's like got hieroglyphics everywhere, so it doesn't tell you any language, and it doesn't really give you any information in words that me and you understand. It's all in hieroglyphics. But
Yeah,
then
apologies. I was just thinking about We Were Here when I was playing We Were Here. Everything was a type of penis. The symbol is the long penis. There's the short penis. It's just I didn't know how else to describe it.
that's that yeah, but well this had like a few penises as well in the hieroglyphics.
Yeah,
So yeah, but so
yeah. You understand exactly what it's like. Yeah.
yeah, there was lots of hieroglyphic penises, and so someone would say so that a conversation would come up, and it would come up with like the easiest one to work out was like a two eyes and a mouth, like a smiley, what we would look like
Smiley
a
face. Yeah.
smiley face. And I think that was high. So once you see that hieroglyphic for the first time, then you can assign a word to it. So then you go in and you type
Yeah.
in high, and then it'll give you some more hieroglyphics underneath it, and he'll do some actions like he'll point to that, and he'll then point to that, and you're like trying to guess what those hieroglyphics mean. So
Oh,
then
so it's kind of like a code breaker.
yeah, but like and in a puzzle kind of format. So you kind of then you assign those hieroglyphics of what you think it is, and then you get to the next part of the puzzle, and they'll use some of those hieroglyphics again, and it'll make no sense because what you assigned to it wasn't necessarily right, and so you're trying to
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
It worked for that one puzzle, but once you get to the next puzzle, it's like, no, it actually means something completely different, but you just managed to fluke through it the first time.
yeah, so you kind of understand
Oh,
what he's
okay.
saying, but you're trying to like work out where these words go, and you're trying to fill in this book that's got all these hieroglyphics in it. It's a whole lot of figuring out what everything means in the game. That's kind of half the puzzle, but then there's also lots of little
Yeah.
other puzzles. And I think I've got to the point now in the game where I have to start again because I've made so many muck-ups on these hieroglyphics that I have no idea what I'm talking about. So I think that's the problem with this game, that if you mess it up at the start, it's gonna get progressively worse as you go along. But yeah, I think I got up, down, and hello right. But yeah.
You got those right at least.
Yeah.
Not so sure about the rest.
Yeah. Well, because then you fill it in the book
Yeah.
and it said that those were right, but then nothing else I put in the book has come up with a big smiley face or made it that I'm right.
You
So
know, has done the correct thing.
no music.
Yeah. It might even be like, I think it's, they said that when you're breaking codes, one of the easiest ways to do it, if it's a direct change to, like, if it's a direct substitution, is you look for double letters. So bottle, you'd look for the two T's and then try and figure it out through that. So you know that those are double letters, so you can get rid of most of. If it's a 4-letter one, it might be book. That might be
It
two
doesn't.
O's.
It's not. Well, it's not letters.
Direct substitution.
No, it's not letters. So each symbol is a word.
Oh, so each symbol represents an entire word.
And I'm thinking that each
letters.
symbol might even represent multiple words in some cases. And
so it's kind of like kanji.
I don't know. I haven't played that game.
And Chinese. Generally with kanji and the Chinese characters as well, is that they represent more than one word.
Yeah, I think it does.
The sound they make depends on what the meaning is rather than what the actual. It doesn't just stand for that word. So there's a couple of different things.
I think that maybe I've mucked it up on how that I've interpreted each symbol. Like when he pointed to the switch, I thought he meant go over there, so I put it as go over there. But then I realized it might have meant that you have to open that. It might have been the actual sentence that I was trying
to open or something.
Yeah, it might have been those would have been what the hieroglyphs were kind of going on. I don't know. It's just super different to everything else I've played because this. I think it's a really neat idea, but I think I've also mucked it up really bad, and I have no idea what to do now. So I gave up. Why
don't you take the ones that you know and start again, and then see if you can figure out what the rest are. Yeah. Think of it as like a roguelike.
I was going to say
where each run you learn more.
I feel like that's what I was going to say actually when I was thinking about the game. Is I feel like it's a roguelike puzzle in some regards because of this whole muck up thing. But yeah, it might be interesting to have a look at it. I just played on the Game Pass version. If anyone else out there is playing it, it's got a really nice color palette. So they've just got like one of those games that's got like 5 colors only, and everything's only in 5 colors. It's all in pastels, and so it almost looks like a comic book kind of thing, the way it's all drawn. So really nice looking. That's my whole story for today.
You're leaning on me again for another. Do I need to pull out another game? Do I
pull out another game?
Oh, geez. Well, like I said, played Paper Trail.
Yeah.
Let's Revolution.
Okay, let's start there. Okay, go to that.
Yeah, Let's Revolution. Let's talk about that because that's the one that I've got to write. I'm actually doing a preview for that one next.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be a video preview, not a written preview.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's kind of like Minesweeper. That's probably the thing that I thought of when I was playing it, and I can see already frowning like, what?
No, I like Minesweeper. I didn't actually. Did you know? Can I just go on a side topic here? Did you know that Minesweeper?
Yep. That's right. I'll have a drink while you do that.
Yeah. Did you know that Minesweeper? There's actually more logic to it than you realize when you're clicking on Minesweeper. I used to just think that the buttons, that the numbers meant like how close there actually means how many boxes you are away from the bomb. So if you click and you're next to it, I did not know that for so many years. I was like, okay, but yeah. But yeah,
This is like my friend finding out that Mario has a run button all over again.
yeah. I was really okay. Go back. It's really like Minesweeper.
Yes. So essentially, what happens is that you start off with a board that has tiles on it, and the tiles are all flipped over. You don't know what's on them.
Okay.
There are a couple of different ways to play. There are 6 different characters, and each one plays differently. But the main character that everyone starts off is just called it's no charges, the upgraded version, Trooper, and essentially they have a lot of hearts. But what you want to do is you want to methodically reveal where you think the path might be, so you don't accidentally step on an enemy. So if the enemy's revealed, you can destroy them. But it requires you to figure out where the path is going. And the aim is that you're trying to find the king because you're trying to overthrow the monarchy because the king is corrupt as all crap.
What kind of graphics have we got here? Like what?
2D. 2D comic book graphics, hand drawn.
Oh, I like that. That's nice style. It seems like that would suit well. So is it
Or
kind
maybe
of
not comics, more like a storybook might be better. It's cartoony.
is it a little bit like a card game vibe to it, even though it plays like Minesweeper?
No, because you start off. So the trooper has the ability to reveal all the tiles around him.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that sorry, you can generally only move. You can move as many tiles as you want. So it's not like a board game or something where you're restricted in your movement. You can go wherever you want, as long as that tile's next to one that you're already on.
Yeah.
And as you reveal the tiles, you'll slowly find bits of the path. Like, if there's no path, it'll have a little checkbox saying that there's no enemies, there's no path there, you're fine to move forward. But if you stand on a tile and it says 6 in the corner, you know that there are 6 road tiles around that tile there. So if you happen to be in the middle and you've revealed that, like, the top one has a road, but the one at the bottom doesn't, you know that that's probably going to go along the top and then down the side. So it's a logic puzzle very similar to Sudoku.
Oh, I like the idea. So the story is prevalent in the game, or is it not? So
Essentially, it it's a roguelike or roguelite. I can't remember what the difference is between the two again. They're very similar, and it's hard to remember which one's which. Essentially, you have runs. There are 12 stages. You get through all 12 maps, and the maps slowly get bigger so that you're less likely to know where the path is, and they'll have more awkward shapes, so you can't use your abilities as easily. And essentially, you know that you're overthrowing the king. So far, I think there's only 4. There's only 4 locations. There's Phlox, Symbium, B-Bomb, which is like the main city, and I can't remember the other one. Saffron. That's right, in Saffron. So essentially, you will get 3 of the 4 cities each run, and the idea is that the king's doing something to Phlox, so that's why they're trying to each character has their own personal motivation for why they're trying to overthrow the king,
so it's
or why they're trying to stop the king.
there's a fair bit of story in it then for a little puzzle game.
Yes, but it doesn't actually give you the story. This is what I've really gleaned from what I've read, the little bits that it gives you.
Yeah.
Because there seems to be like a bit of disparage. The king will say things like, "Everyone loves me. I'm so handsome," and things like that. You know, just he's a really annoying person. But he says to the trooper, "Oh, Phlox. This is why Phlox will always be a backwater." So you know, he's obviously sees that as and they look kind of like a tribe from the desert, and it's like this is why you guys are inferior to me, sort of thing. So it's easy to kind of get a little story when you beat them, and or when you fail to them, they give you a little paragraph of what happened. But it's hand drawn. which is impressive. I think it's really nice. I am terrible at the stealth version of it, where you are trying not. So you get rewarded for not revealing tiles. So you're trying to avoid the enemies and only find the king. So in the trooper one, you want to find the path, but in the stealth one, you want to avoid the path as much as possible. And then you've got the oracle where you want to reveal everything around the path, but not the path itself.
So,
That's the three characters I've played. I haven't unlocked. I only just unlocked the charger, which was the upgraded version of the trooper, and I haven't unlocked the upgraded version of the oracle or the. Each time you play, you get little green gems, and those green gems will unlock upgrades for the next run as well.
so
Yes.
this is on Steam only at the moment. This is not on consoles at the moment.
No, it's on console.
Oh,
It's on
really?
Steam and consoles. So it released on Steam first,
Yeah.
about a year ago. So it released in 2023, and they've just ported it to the consoles. Like I said, I've played it. I'm playing it on the Switch. I think it only released last month. Actually, you know what? Give me a sec.
Let's revolutionize. Revolutionize? Am I
Yeah, so
saying let's?
so that's the sort of
Oh, I can see that
art
clearly.
style.
I'm not getting any glare from your screen.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
there we
I
go.
see. I see what
Oh
you're
no!
saying. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's all good. I see what you're saying. It looks quite adorable and cozy in vibe as well. Like it's got like a little
But
bit of.
you're trying to kill a monarch. I mean, overthrow a monarch. They don't actually say kill, but you know, how else do you overthrow a monarch?
Was it little, but little spelled LIT. Little
Mm-hmm.
something or other. Is it another game, similar comic vibe to that? I can't remember. I was talking to him on TikTok the other day. I forget what they're going to be mad at me now. But um, little guard or little guy,
Oh, little guardsman.
little guy. Yeah, is it kind of that's got a similar kind of vibe, but that's more like Papers, Please. I think that's been redone, but a very similar art style to that. I
Yeah,
can see it. So.
yeah. It is a very aesthetically pleasing art style. It's definitely no doubt about it. It was one of the things because normally when I first heard it, I'm like, it's not really my thing. I'm not really always into roguelikes and roguelites. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not.
Mm.
Told a friend about it who was very into it, and he's like, "Oh, this came out on Steam last year." I'm like, "Yeah, it's only just come out for consoles." They're telling me about the console version, and I ended up applying for a key because I was like, I watched the trailer and I was like, I really love the art style of it, and I kind of want to play it. And then it turned out that it's. I'm not going to say I'm good at it. I definitely have to play on easy. I definitely need as much help as I can get, but I'm still enjoying it.
On a side note, do like because I know for me, sometimes just the name of the game can throw me way off scent on what that game is all about. Like, let's revolutionize it. It doesn't. It doesn't appeal. Like the name itself kind of throws me off, but then
Yeah.
I see the art to it, and it's really maybe something that I would be into. So,
Yeah, yeah, it does. Well, it's not Let's Revolution. It's technically Let's Revolution. It's
oh, I'm not doing the
Let's
gap properly.
exclamation mark Revolution exclamation mark. So it's I don't know, but the way you were saying it, it made it sound like a DDR version of Let's Revolution. We'll have dance offs. We'll destroy the monarchy that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's I suppose that's how I read it. I just did it quickly, but
No, no, that's not right. It would be Let's Revolution for that
let's yeah. But
instead of Dance Revolution.
I'm just saying, like maybe yeah,
Yeah.
something else. Make a different name up, and maybe you'll sell lots more.
I don't know why they chose that name. Not my job. Probably if it were my game, I would probably call it something completely
um,
revolutionary minesweeper.
it'd be like the we love the king or something like that. Sarcasm. bit of sarcasm there.
Long live the king.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's what I
The
should
French
do.
say hi.
That's the new segment for this podcast where I'll rename games so they can sell more copies and help every indie dev out.
Yeah, I think you get a name Cozy Caravan because I really think that name's perfect for it.
Yeah, I like that one. And I like what's it when two words start with the same letter and they repeat like after each other? There's an actual saying for that to kind of,
Oh, there is a word,
yeah, there's a word that says that, but it
but
does
I
that. It
cannot
does that
remember it right
word.
now.
Comment that and I'll use it next week in sentence. And there you go.
If because like my brain keeps trying to say litigation. I'm like, no, that is not how it works.
No,
And
it's
it's like maybe it's an
illiterate.
allegory. It's not an
No,
allegory.
is it illiterate? No. Okay, now it turned into a maths an
I'm
English
like, illiterate is you can't read.
No. 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 Okay, moving right along to games that we're playing.
But
Oh,
people are going to be commenting like, you guys are idiots.
I played the Manor House, uh, the
Botany Manor?
Botany Manor. After your suggestion last time, I played through a bit of that. I'm stuck in some. I've got through a few of the puzzles. I think I've done two of the plants or something like that. It's quite a good game. Like it's a bit of figuring out. I did the smokehouse. That was the last one I did. Did you get to smokehouse?
I can play game. So.
Okay. Well, you got to the smokehouse.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm up to the
I'll
plant
play it
after that.
review things unless you complete the story. So
I quite liked a lot of what I like the idea of that game, and it's completely not what I expected in the game. That's just to reiterate, Buttery.
yeah, I think that's the thing. I really like the fact that you could just honestly, I could just get lost exploring in the world, sort of thing. And I think that's what they went for, and I think that was the right move, sort of thing. I'm just trying to remember the smokehouse, what it was in this. Oh, so you're like on the. I think you're near the end.
Oh, really? Because I can't work out how to get down to some art in this. I'm in this art room thing, and I can't work out how to get something. There's something I've missed. But yeah.
Is it the have you done the puzzle in the kitchen? Which gives you the extra area, there's like stairs that are broken, they're like you need to go down the stairs, but
No,
they're broken.
I haven't done that. Maybe I've missed that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I missed
I
that.
mean, there's
No spoilers on, I think,
honestly,
on this show.
yeah. Um, yeah. Well, I haven't explained how you get there on there, just saying there's a way to get there,
Yeah, no, that's true.
which obviously the game hints at, so not
Yeah.
necessarily a spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that it's one of those ones that if you've missed something, it's very hard to continue. But if you have all the clues, generally it's fine. But if you miss something, it can be difficult. And that's the thing. Like it's just about kind of putting the pieces together.
Yeah. No, it's good. I think I must be at least probably halfway through, I think. I don't know. I think it's probably a 5 or 6 hour game if you're interested in playing it. Would that be a
Yeah,
fair
it's
guess?
not a hugely long game. I think I played about 5 or 6 hours of it. I just found that I really enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah.
Even when I got stuck, I was still quite enjoying it. I mean, I think there was only one section where I had to look up the walkthrough, and that was because I'd missed something.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's generally like I'm not the smartest person around. I'm not going to say to people like, "Oh, I'm so intelligent and I'm so good at puzzle games." I'm not. But I found that most of the stuff was fairly easy to do. So if I can do it, everyone else can do it. You could do it too, and you just have missed something, and you have to go back.
Well, I'm just I might do. I tend to play a lot of games. I'm about a 3 hour game guy now, where I play the
Yeah.
first 3 hours of every game and never play it ever again in my whole entire life. Because it's not because I don't hate them; it's just that I have so many games, and I
There's so many
like,
games to play and not enough time.
yeah, and I want to see what all these games are. Why are people making games like this? Like that. That's what I'm kind of interested in more so than anything.
Have you been using the book and putting the clues together? That might be a good thing to do. First thing you when you go back, if you're confused with the smokehouses,
No,
look
I
at the
did.
book.
I did the smokehouse. I got past that.
Okay, you just got past the smokehouse.
Yeah, I said I got past the smokehouse, and I got to. Then I had to go back to the front gate, pick up the thing, and then I
The
had.
gatehouse,
Yeah, and then I had to go back.
yep.
And then I got another door opened. I went in there. I've been doing a bit. I think I probably got a bit. Um, I was kind of like, I'm a bit. I feel like I've had enough of this game for today, and
Yeah, fair
so
enough.
yeah. And then I've never come back to it, and I played that other game. But I have to confess, like, so you were trying to convince me to play Paper Trail the other day. Is it Paper
Yep.
Trail? And so,
It's Paper Trail, yeah.
yeah, so there was another game that I got confused about. There was paper something where you're a paper aeroplane and you hit a wall and you turn into a ball and then you can roll along the ground. And it just got funded on, what do you call it? One of those things, Kickstarter, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I was getting confused between that paper game and Paper Trail. And so I had to look up what Paper Trail was. But yeah, Paper Trail looks fun. It reminds me of this game where you used to, on the, when the iPad games started getting big, this is like probably 5 or 6 years, maybe 10 years ago. They had this game where you tore pieces of paper and you'd slide them just a little bit so you can then complete the level so insects or something could get through this game. It reminds me of that kind of thing where you're folding pieces of paper and do it like that's how you solve the puzzle. Is there a story to Paper Trail that I should know about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is. You actually have to fold the paper for story sections as well. So that's actually how you progress the story, is that you will fold the paper and it will go to the next section of the story. So it's kind of like a picture book. That's how I described it in my review, is that it's kind of like you're turning the pages of a picture book, but in this case, you're actually folding the paper, and when you open it back up, it's revealing the next page. So each chapter has a story section at the beginning and the end of it, like between them. And there's about 6 chapters. But something that I really liked is that when you got to the end of the game, they essentially had an extra level that was the credits.
Oh,
So yeah, as you would,
paper credits, folding puzzle credits. I like that idea.
yeah. So you essentially did the last level, as you did the last level, when you would fold things and fold them back, it would have the person who, like, the first one was the director, and then it was like the artist, but it was a very clever way of doing it so that you're not just sitting around watching names go up a screen.
Yeah, so there's something I might steal. I,
Yeah,
uh,
it's a great idea. More people should do it.
I,
Steal
well,
away, I say.
people, it makes games where I don't know, it depends on how much you care if your name gets seen or not. I guess that's the thing. I
Well,
don't
I
know.
always try to look at the names because if I've really enjoyed a game, it's like, yeah, no, I deserve the least I kind of sit through this. Unless it's Final Fantasy 14, at which point there's usually so many goddamn names, and I'm just like, okay, please skip now.
Yeah, there's a lot of names in that. Speaking of names in games, I put my name down for some game because I gave them some money on Kickstarter. I forgot all about this game until I got an email the other day about, hey, by the way, you did this on Kickstarter like 6 years ago, or like when it was a long time ago, and then I'm like, what am I doing here? I
It
don't
wasn't
even.
Star Citizen, was it?
No, it wasn't Star Citizen. No, that game's still, I think, waiting for people to come back for it. No, this was an indie game. I think it was. It kind of looked a little bit like a Hollow Knight or something like that, but it was made in France, kind of thing,
Okay.
and had like the character had like a big beak nose. That's all I can remember from this. I'll have to go back to my email
Yeah,
from
it's not
many. Yeah.
ringing any bells. Sorry.
Hang on, I'll get my emails up while I was looking at stuff. You can't see me looking at them, so that's fine. No one will even know.
Definitely not because you've just told them.
No, that's right. So it's fine.
It's all right. I'll take this opportunity to quickly check on my dog, who's just staring at me.
Yeah.
She was asleep, but now she's just staring at me.
Oh, it's her birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to her.
Oh, it was the 23rd.
Oh,
I just forgot to post silly pictures of her.
on the
She hates her pajamas, though.
um,
Hates them.
my my boy's birthday this week, so it's everyone's birthday, and my birthday was a couple of weeks back. Everyone gets a birthday. We'll all have birthdays. Um, oh, Solo's curse or Souno curse. Son
So
Santa
S-O-U...
UNO's curse. Santo's
Solnos? Solnos?
curse. Yeah, that game.
Okay. So, I have not heard of it.
Well, it got funded on Kickstarter, so there you're welcome. You'll find out about it. It's going to get released
Yeah.
in. I think it's getting released in a not long now. I think they're pretty close to getting it through to the final bits. It was just about a year or two late from Kickstarter, but that's fine. So I like to see
Better late than never.
I'd like to see a successful Kickstarter story. Um. So yeah, I think I'm nearly out of things to talk about for indie games this week. You got
And I think we're nearly reaching the hour mark anyway.
yeah, it's about that time. I think we've talked about anything else to add, or we'll just call it a show.
Let me go through the 150 indie games, please, first.
Okay, that
Or at
was
least let me finish the farming video first, I guess is probably a better way of doing it.
yeah.
You'll be glad to know I did spruik this on Pixelcast, but it won't be coming out till next week because we did it a week early. So
What
I'll
this show?
yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Hang on just a moment.
this isn't coming out for a week anyway. I'm not going to release this till next week.
Sorry. So similar thing. Um the dog wants out now.
Yeah, the dog one's out. We'll finish the show.
All
Thank
right.
you for watching or listening or any of those things. We'll talk to you again next time.
Yep.
Bye.
All right. See you later.